nature garden walk. It is quite chilly out here. This time it's exceptionally windy. So at this point, the bad weather passed over, and now the weather is now cold, and over in the western part, the weather is extremely, it's more warm or hot over there, and over here it is more cold in the east part. I have not heard any wild critters. Usually around the cooler weather, when it gets cold like this, I don't really hear anything usually. But now it is just more quiet and windy. Hello everybody, we are doing the nature walk, and not too sure what that is. This looks like it could be some sort of a flower of some kind, I suppose. I don't really know what that is. Some sort of flower petal, I guess. Okay. The elderberry tree is coming alive from spring. For spring, that's good. This is an elderberry tree. And winter is over with and is coming towards spring, and that's why it is not surprisingly, but I didn't know it's turned green that fast. All right. Hello everybody, we're doing the nature walk very late. And right here we have this elderberry tree that is coming to awakening from winter, which is really cool. These produce they look like berries. Basically, they are, that's what the seeds look like when they come out, and they start off as flowers, like a flower thing, and then it turns into that. They are edible, but they must be cooked properly. All right, and continuing. Hello there, Sheem. Yes, thank you. And right here, this one just dangling in my face. It must have been broken off by a critter. It is actually, critter meaning it's some sort of a animal, I suppose, was in here. Yeah, it's very actually, and that's because the reason why it's quiet is because of when it gets cold, the atmosphere changes and it gets very quiet, similar to the outbacks like that. It's very silent, although there's some noise in the distance. Yeah, and I have vegetables too in this trail, but over here is just more wild things that grow around here. Been doing these a little bit more than I usually have. Some more wild plants that, those are like ornamental plants right here. All right. Sort of like a garden update, because I did this a couple of days ago, but here is the garden update. What is it? Oh, this plant right here, it's called a giant ragweed, not the type of weed people smoke. It's a type of wild plant that grows. It used to be used by Native American, indigenous people to grow things like, it was used for wheat and used for medical herbs, and its roots were used for that. And they get really big and they're good stalks for, privacy hedges, or using it for hold up tomatoes and things like that. Usually what I'll do is I'll dry it out. You see those over there, they're real brittle. Yeah, because I'm sure it even because people think it looks kind of like that plant. That's why it's even called giant ragweed, but it's not that type of weed though. Like over here, I could show you another view of it when it's a little bit bigger. Let's go this way. Yeah, you see, look at these. It's like, yeah, this is something called giant ragweed, but from a distance, it might look like the other kind, but it's not the smoking kind. I found it when I was little. I would see them, and I really was like, oh, those must be that type of plant, but it really isn't. Now, they're both cousins with sunflowers, but they're technically, those are some rats in the trees. You can't really see it, but there's a rat in a tree right there, and it was trying to lurk in the stream anyway. So, yeah, that's those things that get really big. They look like giant beanstalks, like from a fairy tale, like 14 feet tall plus. I would dry them out in a dry place, and they get very, very hard, and they're good for different things, but when they're left out forever, like in the outside, they just get brittle and eventually decay. All right. Okay, so go back over here. This needs to be harvested really badly, but this is a daikon plant, and right there is it's about to flower, so that means it's time to, get it out the ground. Okay, let's go here. Oh, okay, night shift. Awesome, thank you. Okay, so right here you see, this is from a couple of days ago. I did it, but right here you see this is a pipe of radish. It's a daikon. It's from Japan. I grew it last year, and then this year I grew it from a seed that I have. And there it is. It's still around. I mean, it's still around, but what I mean by that is it's interesting from a seed from another plant. Yeah. The leaves are edible too. All right. Right there's a smaller one right there. And let's see. This is spinach. Right here, it's a spinach plant. Yes, the leaves are edible. They're usually pickled. They'll pickle them. You could eat it raw, like in a salad too, but they're usually people pickle them or they put them in salads, but the root is usually the thing that's eaten the most. But yeah, you could eat, the whole thing is used. There's lots of nutrients in it and vitamins. And this is the broccoli. Yeah, definitely looks like kale. That's a way to describe it. It's in the radish family. And one of my subs in Japan told me about it. Yeah, and right here is the nice broccoli. Broccoli it looks much better when you grow it yourself over growing it, getting it from the grocery store. This way, right here, is just some random flower vine that likes to grow from, like in winter, all this stuff blows in here from up north. And that's milkweed. Again, not the type of weed people smoke, but the Timu weed. It's herbal stuff. Oh, it's your first time seeing it. Yeah, I have videos of it when it's fully grown. It gets bigger than that, much bigger than that. I'd say it can get about as big as that plant. And they both could get really huge, and it's a dark green, very dark green, the whole thing, inside and out. It tastes incredible. And let's see, right there. Yeah, they're just, and they make like a bush. It's very cool. I've seen them flower before, and when they flower, they have yellow flowers, and it makes like a little bush inside the other plant. But yeah, the broccoli, it's little, and before it flowers, that's when it's picked, the top part of it. It's so interesting. You'll see like this thing right here, and you'll see like a little tiny broccoli thing chilling right there. You just snip it and put it in a salad or whatever. Yeah, and also I've grown peppers before, and that was also cool too. And they're in storage. Right. And see, this is different from the other day. Yeah, I don't need Walmart. Nope. I have the Space Mart right here, out here. See, this is different from a couple of days ago. This is actually a wild onion right here. This is a wild onion, and it bloomed. The wild onions like to bloom, and I've never eaten them before. Yeah, I've never eaten the wild onions before, but they are here, and they flower. When the grass is cut, it would smell like onions everywhere. They're very good. They smell very good. I've never tried it before, but yeah, it's an oasis. Really, it is an oasis. Yes, that is good to know, and I would think so. It's known to have health benefits, and yeah, they grow here. It's really an oasis. The other are all around. They don't really have things like these plants around here, except this spot. And yeah, these are just some random vines. They all came in rent-free, and they didn't want to go anywhere, so they just stayed. And that is another type of... This is a similar thing to a wild onion, but it's not really... It's like a cousin of wild onions, but it's like trying to be an onion but can't. Yeah, and although usually there's some... Yeah, they came to the birthday party. It's the wild onions. It's like they're like Timu onions. They're trying to be wild onions, but not quite. And this right here is this a vine that's red. And the reason why it's a red vine is, I don't know, it's just a type of species. And eventually I think it turns green, I would think. I don't really know, but I think usually that's what happens. But I don't know if I've really seen anything like this before, but it's here. A red vine. I've grown pineapples in here before. In this spot. This was used for growing peppers before. And, you can see, so peppers, you like bury the seeds, but other types of plants, you'll go and put it on top of the soil, and then they grow up that way. That is a random elephant ear plant, because I put a bunch of them here a couple years ago, and just random ones sprout everywhere. And they get really big. You know, they could get like a couple of feet tall, like over 10 feet tall. But it has to be the right conditions over a long period of time. Yes, that's true. I've grown everything pretty much. I grow sweet corn and everything else. Yeah, the Garden of Eden, amen. Yes, definitely that. I eat even the elderberry. Is like the forbidden fruit because it can't be eaten cooked, and if you eat it raw, it's like not really good for you. So there's even a forbidden fruit too. Yeah, I like that example. And yeah, so here we have this is where elephant ear plants I put here in like 2020, and its descendants, the offspring of it, created more of them, and they just grow all over the place. All right, and there's some more here. Yeah, just the winter. God brings all these here in the winter. They just all come to the party. Yeah. That's where the original batch of elephant ear plant were at. Yes, and these are all descendants of there are two of them here. Back in 2017, I put them when I was graduating high school, and then they, over time, they got big, and then they died out, and their descendants grew here. So it's interesting to see the different families of these type of plants that grow over generations, and some of them are like mixed together and related to different ones. But yeah, we have that, and it's nice to walk here and see the different plants now. Over this way, there is it's a root plant, and they're like a cousin of the sunflowers, and the roots are edible. So no matter what happens, you just have a bunch of root plants you could just dig up. So it's pretty cool. Well, the whole world falls apart. Yeah, and do I have hybrid plants? These hybrid plants, I do have hybrid seeds. These plants look probably like crazy looking hybrids, but as far as I know, they're either hybrids that I'm not aware of, or they're just naturally looking like that. But I have a hybrid tomato plant. So there's some tomato seeds that I have, and it's a giant tomato plant, and it grows these like pumpkin sized tomatoes. And the plant's gigantic. I do have a hybrid, tomato hybrid. It's very cold right now for those type of plants, though. Right, so I have hybrid tomatoes. And that's some more of the milkweeds growing very high. You see right here, you see this flower? This is a flower. Oh, look at that. Look at that, chat. Wow. This is a lurking dragonfly. Probably can't even see it, but it is there. Right there. It is blurry and out of focus, but there he is. He is just... And this little thing right here is a flower bud that died. Yeah, it is 37 degrees in Louisiana. It's close by, yeah. And yeah, so this is a flower bud from it, of one of these hybrid. It's not a hybrid plant, but it's one of these plants. The Native American indigenous people grew these too for food and different things like that. A lot of these plants were grown by them originally, and they were but now so there's colonists that came in, and then they were pushing things around, and they didn't need to use these type of plants anymore, so they just became wild and feral. They don't call them feral plants, but I call them feral plants. So yeah, because a lot of them were used by them. And it's so cool that all these were used for medical things at one time. And this one right here is the tallow tree. They turn colors in the fall, and it's Benjamin Franklin brought them here to the United States, to the East Coast, and they spread everywhere. But they're originally from China. So that is a cool fact. It looks kind of like a mossy oaks type camouflage. I always thought that was a cool camouflage. And by the way, the type of spinach and daikon they're winter plants, so they're more suited for this type of weather. Some plants are more suited for this type of weather than others. Hey, and that is a cat house. In these trees, sometimes there are rats that like to live in them. Sometimes they're quiet, sometimes they move around. This was grown like 14 years ago, and that's how big the tallow tree can get. Yeah, that's a very bizarre vine. I don't know what it is, but it looks kind of like something I wouldn't want to touch, but it hasn't really done anything to me. It isn't poison ivy, I don't think. Poison ivy can cause problems to, some people don't get allergic to poison ivy, and some people are, some people aren't. Yeah, this is the root. That is a big vine that I cut. I thought it was part of the tree, but it wasn't, and I had to cut them to save the tree. Yeah, that was interesting. This, I don't know, it must be some sort of a petal. I'm not quite sure exactly. Oh, yeah, thank you. It's definitely, historical. I was blessed with all these different plants that came in from different hurricanes and events that happened. They all just fell into place. And like I said in the beginning of the stream, this is what you would call the elderberry tree. And they're just in a couple of days they turn green, the leaves. And I was surprised about that because when I came here last time it was vacant. Hello, Anna. Welcome to the stream. This is a night shift right here. So, if that is Anna, one of the friend of mine for a while, right here. So yeah, this is the elderberry tree. Yes, it is past my bedtime. That is true. What I'm doing is I'm going on a late night walk and showing everybody in the dead of night. There's all kind, because I've done these before. Gotta take it. Sorry, y'all going through those hurricanes and we get rain. Gotta take the good with the bad, man. I'm sorry, y'all going through the hurricanes and we get rain. And yeah, so I'll get to you in a moment, night shift. So, yeah, and just a late night walk, and there's all kinds of cool cats that come on here and observe this with me. One of the other nights, I was talking to people about opium poppies, although I don't grow that right now or grow that at all. But I was just talking to him about different plants the other night, and it was funny. So, yeah, it's just something that I do, and I should be in bed, but I'm not. And yes, we are night owl soulmates. That is true. And yeah, thank you, Night Shift. Definitely taking good with the bad. I noticed in life, the dots make sense connecting it backwards. Looking backwards, things make more sense than they do looking forward. Like, I wouldn't have lived in this area and seen these plants if the hurricanes didn't come. I wouldn't be doing the stream here with y'all. This is a much better location for this. It depends on what type of poppy flowers they are. The people, the opium poppy, which is a type of, it has a bulb, and they get pretty big, and they have very beautiful flowers. Those, if you break open the seed pods, and the opiums there, you can get like intoxicated and pass out. There's some oxycontin and morphine in it, but to create hair, although I only know this because I did a lot of research on it, the opium stuff, you need fields and fields of it to create it, and what they do is he said I'm coming. You can buy them in garden centers, but usually what people do is you get seeds and you just put them like on top of the soil, and they grow that way. And so, yeah, the morphine and the oxycontin, you get like a little buzz from it probably, or pass out. And the other type, as I only know this from doing research on it, but you go scratch it or you cut it with a knife and the pulp comes out, and then you harvest it that way. And that's how it works. Some people make the poppy tea. And it gives them a buzz, but people say it's highly dangerous because you could just kind of like pass out and not be around. Whoa, okay. And that's how that plant works. Now, there's different types of poppies. The ones that are there's World War I poppies in the fields of England. You know what's so cool about that? The reason why that's a thing is because they did bombardment. The seeds, you would need the bulb when it's after the flowers drop and it's green. That's when you would go and do it. When it dries out is when the opium is stopped being produced. So there's still opium residue on the seeds itself, but it's actually not really as potent. So when the plant is young, when the flowers fall off, that's when the opium time is there. Yeah. So the bulb itself, it's really called a seed pod. I'm calling it a bulb, but it's really technically called a seed pod. Whoa, I nearly fell over. So that is how that works. And in World War I, they had bombardment, and with the sodium, it's not sodium, but it's some other thing like that. With the sulfur that was scorched the earth, it caused all these poppies to grow because it could only grow in that type of environment after the bombardments and the fires happened. And that's why the World War I fields are filled with poppy flowers. But it's that type of poppy flower is not the type they get high on. It's just a regular kind. It can be a sedative for sleep, but it's not the other kind. Then there's the California poppies, which I've grown those before. The scent is very calming. It's used as like a sleepy sedative, but it's not anything like the narcotic, like the opium one. The opium poppies are really big. And this is a little cat house where Claude and the other ones like to hang out in. Right here. Yeah, poppy seeds and lavender, exactly. And it is freezing right now, by the way, everybody. And right here is non-smokable. It's not weed, that kind of weed, but it's weed. It's a giant ragweed, but it's not that type of weed. They get really big. And they, as I said, they used it for herbs and making bread. And this is a lurking Japanese pot. All right, so I'm going to show Anna the garden. That I showed Night Shift. Okay, and you have this right here, which is the... I know we feel in the same temperature, yeah. We're both freezing in the same region, yeah. So Anna, this is it's the daikon right there, and you see there's a stupid what is this? It's a nobody plant. So okay. So see, that's the daikon. That's the weird root, right? It looks like a carrot. It's a daikon. It's from Japan, and all of this is edible. All these leaves are edible, and it needs to be picked soon because it's about to have a flower. And this is winter spinach, and this is a winter radish right here. And Anna, this is the broccoli, and it's very tasty broccoli. And they could get very, very green, so that's really cool. I'm going to use the rest of the area for different types of plants, for vegetable plants, but I've not done it yet. I've not put them here yet to grow because I have to clear it out. All right. So that is some, just some more. Those over there are edible, like flower root plants, but they lived their season and they'll come back annually in fall. Right. And those are the Temu. They're not Temu flowers, but they're like sheep flowers. Yeah. It's all over. And that is one lurking. These are from Asia. They're actually not from Asia. They're from the islands, like Kauai and those type of places. And someone brought them here at some point. But they're types of, an elephant ear plant that is from the islands, from the Pacific Islands. Yeah. That's a way to put it. So far, there are no animals. I saw a rat earlier, but that's about it. There's some more. Sometimes there'll be cats in here. But, they might be sleeping in there, I guess. Yeah, So there's just a bunch of herbs that are growing there, and anytime I see this bag right here, I think it's something, but it's not really anything. It's something lurking there. All right, and I have grown not spinach, I've grown lettuce here before. Right, yeah, here is where the lettuce was growing one time. And this is some sort of plant. I don't know what it is, but it's something I think looks interesting. Okay, thank you for subscribing, Night Shift. You have a good night. Thank you, buddy, for joining us. And yeah, shout out to you. And nice chatting with you. All right. Yeah, so this is just a really interesting one that I just have to look up what it is. Oh, facts. Yeah. 100% strength, facts. Yeah, I mean, these get bigger, over time. Like this one, its root, it looks like a root, but it's actually has very, very big branches. Okay, it is 3:14, Denisha. That's what time it is. I've been up the whole time. Oh, thank you, Anna. Yeah, definitely. It is massive. Whoa, you know what this is, chat? This is another tree, I think. That's cool. And it's freezing out here, by the way. Yeah. Some sort of a petal. Let's see what's in here. Oh. There's some palm tree over there. Yeah, they can't really even see it, but it's there. Yeah. I am tired from court coverage. That is a good question. I could be. I just go on a lot of adrenaline or passion or whatever it's called, but yeah, definitely. I like to do these late night ones at some point, but I'm sure after this I'll be really tired. Yeah. Thank you for asking. And I've done a 16-hour live stream before, and I've done one until like the sun came up, until the next day. That was wild. I was doing like the OJ trial. I was like up for a long time. Yeah, I'm a night owl, and I stayed up until like the next day. I've stayed up for days. I've stayed up for days before. And I remember there's one time I was over at some other streams. Oh, it's 4:16 a.m. where Anna is. I've stayed up like so late one time where it was like lunchtime the next day. I'm like, all right, I gotta go. But well, not now. But I was like, oh, I have to, end this. Okay, and going this part of the trail. You are correct, Anisha. That isn't healthy. That is true. All right, and right here is more of these plants. This is a vast field. Anna said, wake up, Mookie. Hello, Abby. Oh, nice to see you again. Welcome to the stream. Denisha and Anna, this is not the Abby we know of. This is a new Abby, by the way, that came here recently. Makes sense. I used to be late for court on law and crime. Yeah. Oh, you can't sleep again. Right. Well, glad to have you on board. All right, Chad, this is one of the giant ragweed things I was talking about. Let's go here. Well, we're not going anywhere. We're just kind of showing you this. All right. This is the root. See, this is a root. I was saying it makes sense why you used to be late for court. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sometimes I'm up and I'm doing other things, but yeah, that's usually it. I have a different sleeping schedule. Yeah, and you see, this is the root of that plant. This is like a good staff, and you see, this would be good for tomatoes or all kinds of things. I'm sure the people in the past on the islands used these things for securing stuff together, like building things with. And Abby, I have not seen any. Okay, Bubbles, his brother, is sleeping under a chair, and the other cats are like resting somewhere, and the raccoons and the possums are just, hiding from the cold. Oh yeah, absolutely, Denisha. Yes, indeed. Okay, let's go here. All right. And that is a palm. Yeah, see, that is a palm tree right there. I get my significant other was a night owl, would stay up about 5 and 6 in the morning and sleep until about 5 and 6 the next day. Yes, the banded puppies. Right. All right, so we have a lot of bugs that are flying over the camera, but anyway, see, that is a palm tree. It's very nice. And over there is an interesting yeah, shout out to the banded puppies. This is a tree that in the distance that's it's like yellow from winter, but it has like a light in it, but there's no light on it. But it somehow has light on it. Anyway, yeah, so that's the palm tree. See, this camera could pick it up better than the other one. All right, and that is a giant crate thing. You know, on those ships, they'll have those cargo crates. That's what that is. I am Louisiana. That's what state I am in, and it's very cold right now. Yeah, that was funny. She said about Moki waking up. Shout out to Moki. And okay, we have. Yeah, so that's the palm tree. It's very cool. When I was in high school, I used to hang out over there and chill and talk on the phone. And this is, most of this was cleared out, and I would just walk around and see. But this is what I'm doing this time, is being on a live stream, talking to people all over the country in one place. And 3 in the morning, I didn't expect that, but it's pretty cool. And right there, yeah. And those you see, it could be those kind of like dump over, kind of like break. They don't break, but they're just kind of, it broke, and it's just, that's how big it can get. Very huge. All right. Abby said, we got freezing rain and snow today. Just after a few nice hot days, I wasn't impressed. Oh, well. Oh. Yeah, I've up there, one of my friends in Canada, Erin, she is tired of the snow and the freezing rain, definitely. Oh, it's definitely, I'm sure it's very nice to watch, like watching a fairy tale of, type of, or a movie, like one of those cartoons with the ice crystals. Yeah, and definitely nice scenery. That's a root right there, and we're gonna be, although, yeah, see, all of these were from plants that, yeah, this is how thick some of these not elephant ears, but these type of plants can get. The giant ragweeds are very thick, very thick. Yeah. Oh, you had fake spring last week. You had Timu Sheen spring. Scared. Yeah, I had a fake summer the other day. See, the other day I had a fake summer. I was getting excited and growing plants, and all these plants came out, but it actually wasn't quite summer yet. I was about to have to grow the okra, but this is too cold for okra. Okra likes the heat. All right, and that's closer to the Palm tree. Just like it was. Oh, look at my dude. Let's go Dodgers. What's up, what's up, bro? What's up, bro? So shout out to Let's Go Dodgers. Yeah, we're just exploring the yard late, and that's a palm tree, dude. And that's a random tree in the distance that has, it can be seen in the dark of night for some reason, and it's kind of yellow because it's not really spring yet. Yeah. So, yeah, anyway. So this is, as I said, it could be used for all kinds of things, and it's very thick. And these just, they fall naturally when they're ready to be, just go with the earth or be harvested. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Red Sox, so scared. Okay, and the deceased giant stalks are all over, covering the landscape. And they are, that's the crinkling noises. And these are a bunch of, I believe, people could look it up to make sure, for their own safety. But yeah, that's the milkweeds. They could be, people use these things for like herbs and stuff. Of course, look that up for yourself before consuming something like that, though. And because there's all kinds of different things could be or could not be, and safety precautions and stuff. But yeah, that's how that works anyway. So, yeah, and I would hang out over there. I think the garbage can is still, yeah, the garbage can is still there. After all these years later, the garbage can is still there. That was, yes. Yeah, so let's turn this off and for a second. Yeah, okay, so that is the stargazing time. Wow, see? That is stargazing, and that's where all the rats are in those trees. Yeah, I gotta watch out because those rats are gonna eat me up, and I'll get scared. All right, so all that, and then you see those, they're starting to turn because they thought it was spring, but it wasn't quite spring yet. Yes, that's some nice stargazing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I said that tree in the distance could be seen even better. And that is the palm tree. It's more ghostly looking. Mm-hmm. All right. So anyway, so yeah, that is the rat's tree. Because when I was walking past Abby, I saw a rat for a second. It didn't jump on me, but it almost it wanted to. Yeah. The tree rats. Yeah. Okay. Is there other stars out there to look at? I guess so. Right above me. I don't know if they could see that, but there's supposed to be the Big Dipper right there, but you could see a piece of that's a piece of the Dipper. You probably can't see it, but that's the rest of it. Anyway. I can set rat traps in the trees, I suppose. That's an idea. But I just think to myself, it's kind of awkward to put something like that in a tree like that, but I guess it can be done. Certain types of rat traps can be. And the cats can get the rats, and they do get them sometimes, but not all the time because they're in a tree. Oh yeah, you see the Northern Lights, that's so cool that you get that, Abby. That is awesome. You get those Northern Lights, and you really have a sight to see. This is cool too, but the Northern Lights go to my state up north of me, but they didn't get quite down where I am. So think of it like this, Abby. There's a Crescent City where I am, and there's an up north where there's like a North Shore, where there's lots of pine trees and red clay, red sand, red dirt, and which is that way. Okay, so you see where that tree is, that is where the lake is, in that direction. The northern lights are in that direction, but when they happen, for some reason, or if they happen, I miss it. I may miss it, but the northern lights don't exactly reach this part, but it reaches over there though. It's kind of, and the northern lights look very interesting here. It looks more like a green or purple glow. I will say this though, I am going to be technical here. I did see the northern lights here, but it was a very faint purple hue. Very, 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 very faint. It wasn't that strong, but it was there. I remember I saw the moon, the crescent moon, and it was very, very, very dark purple. It was different looking. So I did see them before, but it wasn't like up that direction. It was very interesting. It's possible I may have missed it. I am wild. I am where the wild things are, yeah. And hello there, General Sorrow. It has been about a minute since I've seen you. Hope you've been well, man. Well, thanks for tuning in. And yeah, so in that direction, that's where it's like a green and different colors. So it's possible they happened here and I just missed it. But anyway, they happen here, but not necessarily in this region. Right. Yes, I have gators. Yeah, I have gators, but the gators are in a different direction. The gators are south. So the gators are over in that direction, in the south part. In this region where I am, the gators are not. It's possible for a gator to come here, but the thing about the gators is they won't. If they came out of a canal, it could work. It could be a possibility. But usually the gators are from the other parts. So I've been to the gator region before. I didn't see a gator, but I've been to the part where they're at. It's over in the place called Lafitte. And that's where there's pirates, real pirates there. And what they did was they hung pirates in those woods, and they had pirate wars. There was another thing where swamp puppies are adorable. I love that name, swamp puppies. And the swamp puppies, they do bite really hard, and I'm just not into getting bit by them, but in Lafitte, there's a giant black pearl from the Pirates of the Caribbean. I went to it with my friend, and it was from the original movie, and it's there, like the front, the bow of the ship is there. It's really cool. I like that very much. It was a nice thing to see, but yeah, the alligators are like in the trenches over there, but I didn't see any when I was there, but I went to the swamp. Oh, there's a swamp there's something called the Nature Center. And the Nature Center was this place where it was a nature walk in a swamp. Yeah, facts, pirates. Yeah, pirate flag. And it's a beautiful swamp, and with the green bogs and like slime water and stuff. It's interesting. And they closed it down because a horrible hurricane happened, and it took them like 20 years to bring it back. Nearly 20 years, but not quite 20 years. So then I went back there when they refurbished it, and there's we got Todd. Hey, Todd. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Good morning. So what happened was they would have a planetarium, and they would talk about the different planets, and it was so nice to see them refurbish that place because it was really messed up. And not every single part of it was refurbished yet, but most of it was, and it looks all brand new. So parts of it were closed off, but yeah. So I've been in the swamps before. there's a swamp tour that I've not been on, but you know, I was too young, but I definitely would go to them, go to one. You know, it's something cool. You know, there's all kinds of cool dishes, and I've talked about this all over YouTube. So there was my neighbors over that way would give me. There's something called Thanksgiving here when they have the November. And what my friends, my neighbors' family, they would cook something called gumbo, which is like a soup with seafood in it and like crabs and stuff and different meats with lots of seasoning and okra. And those are very, very good. And it came from different parts of the world, Africa and the America and also France. It was a combination of things. So the food here is very unique. Not saying other places don't have any unique food, but the food was very interesting that I experienced. There is this other thing that they have here is the some people call them crawdads, or you could say craw puppies, and we call them crawfish, and they're like these, you know, little lobsters. You know, you know what that is, I'm sure, but they remind me of little lobsters. That's something they have in certain seasons, and lots of spicy food, too. Yeah, and so just to give you an idea about what the swamp life is like, and there's lots of these, and that's what I was telling you the other day, Abby, about the crayfish is one I forgot to mention. Crawfish, crawdad, okay. Yeah, General said all the different ones that are there. And what I liked also was all the different seasonings all at once was very intense. It was very nice. And surely not all just I can think of. Yeah, oh, and I've seen them in the yard before. For instance, over here, I've seen them here before, crawling around, because they'll have these mounds, these like giant cones, like volcanoes, and they'll walk around everywhere. And I've seen like one at a time. It's very rare, but they are around. And that's what I was telling you about the trees, is that a lot of times the trees turn brown. Yeah, it is very tasty. Yeah. And there is these, so the trees a lot of times turn brown or yellow, and people came up with a rumor and a myth that the trees here don't change colors, but they do change colors. That's why I was telling you about the Benjamin Franklin's tallow tree. Right here changes yellow and orange and purple, and it changes the fall colors because it's a type of tree it is. And it was from China. Benjamin Franklin brought it to the United States, and then it spread all over the world. I mean, all the United States. And then during the hurricane that hit, they spread it all over. It spread it here. So a nice tree came from a horrible flood. So that's really cool. Yeah. So that is some interesting stuff about the state. And some of the trees will have moss. So you see these trees right here, they'll have like these spooky looking hay things hanging from the trees. That's also something that we have at times. And yeah, lots of wild critters here too. That is some swamp history. Right there. Yeah, sometimes there's something that grows out here that's similar to wheat, like over that way, but I don't really know if it's wheat or not, because there'll be like some wild plants that grow in these different areas. And there's something called sassafras, and that's a good plant. It looks kind of like that one, but it doesn't. There is a plant Yeah, so some of the plants don't grow well in the cold right now. That'll grow in more in the spring and in the summer too. General has his check mark. I see right there. That's awesome. And yeah, the okra came from Africa, and they put it in different dishes, and that was something in the city that was eaten a lot, and I've never grown it before, so I'll grow that one and a couple other things. So, oh, by the way, Abby, I didn't tell you last time, I have hybrid tomato seeds, and they make these big tomatoes that look like like a pumpkin. And it's non-GMO, but it's a hybrid, and it makes a very, very big tomato plant. Earlier, they're asking me if I grew hybrid plants, and that's the only hybrid that I know of that I have. And Claude is sleeping, by the way, somewhere. And all the raccoons are, the bandit puppies are sleeping, staying away from this type of weather. Abby says, swamp life sounds like a lot of fun. To be honest, just it's not for the weak, in my opinion. Like, I'm not scared of bugs or anything, but larger predators or venomous animals would scare me. Yeah, now in this yard, there is a snake that's pretty big. I don't know what it is exactly, but I like to it's best to stay away from whatever it is. And one time I was cutting grass down the street, and because of my family's house, and the snake rattled at me and it slithered off. But yeah, definitely the venomous type of critters are spooky, but there's not really anything venomous here. There's there's a snake around, but besides that, there's the venomous things I know of aren't really around. Over in like Nevada and New Mexico, there's lots of scorpions, and that's really like a game over situation. Yeah. Now, Abby, there is a type of bug. You may have it where you are. I don't know if you do or not, but there's something called the cockroach, and that thing is really freaky looking that no one really likes. Oh no, Anna, Abby found me here. She found me here organically. She wasn't from the trials. She came a couple of days ago. And I'm glad you remembered the name of the raccoons, as people think I'm crazy for bandit puppies. I think bandit puppies is really cute. I like that idea. Oh, you hate roaches? Yeah, there's roaches here. And they came here actually originally from, there is the slave trade, and they came here, you know, from that. And they just spread all over the place. And they went all the way up there where you are. It's wild. They really went a long way. Yeah, so those are the different bugs that they have. There's all kinds of different bugs here. There's wasps and bees and things. There's butterflies and moths too. They're nice. Oh, Abby, thank you for the kind words. I'm glad you like the channel and our community, and thank you, chat, for being very kind to our guest, Abby, our new crewmate. All right, and yeah, these are just more of them. They're going to grow very, very big. And oh, those are some flower plants that are going to grow at some point. It's pretty cool. Yeah, see that? It's always getting out of focus. So yeah, I'm glad that you scrolled here and found our channel. It's awesome. Anyway, so definitely the swamp life is tough, and there's the giant spider. I see General is being a good co-pilot and reminding me about the giant spider. Yeah, I did see a giant spider. So there was this spider that was over that way, and it was a banana spider, and it's literally the size of like that plant to that plant right there. It's a huge, huge spider that's spooky looking. Oh, it got you? Darn it. And I think I told you about spiders before, Abby, but I'll tell you more in detail. One time I was in class with one of my boys, and when I was in school, and I looked up to the ceiling, and I saw a humongous banana spider chilling, and man, that was not nice. That was just not a nice scene. Uh, I calmly got away from there, and they were able to get rid of it. But that was something else, man. You look up and you see a devil, a demonic-looking thing on the ceiling. And she's from South Florida. Okay, you see how this thing bends? By the way, I'm gonna fun fact about wood: the cypress wood is very resistant to wetness, and they use it in a lot of these types of houses here to be resistant against the wetness that is going on. Not the wetness that's going on, but from the wet bog type of humidity we have here. And they put it in water and they bent it. And I was just thinking, this is not cypress, but you see how that bend? They used a certain weather, a certain type of conditions to bend wood like that, by the way. But yeah, cypress wood was very resistant towards the wet weather. Yeah, those are terrifying indeed. Exactly, General. They do taste like bananas. They taste like nice sweet bananas. I just look forward. I look forward to eating those type of spiders all the time. Facts. By the way, Abby, one time one of my friends, one of the neighbors that gave me gumbo, she gave me a bunch of bananas, like a whole tons of bananas, like off the tree, and they're little bananas. They tasted delicious, and I got bags of them. Wolf spiders do howl, but they howl uh, in a puppy pitch. They they do a sheen, a Timu pitch, more of a lighter pitch than what you would expect. Yeah, yeah, high pitched. Dodger said wolf whistle. That's true, a wolf whistle. And they have black widow spiders here. They have like an hourglass in their belly. They have those here that blew in from the hurricane. All right. I'm gonna migrate myself this way. Okay. Oh. Um. Oh. Nearly hit me in the head. That's good. It didn't. Oh, I think the tarantulas are very freaky. What they do. Absolutely. Very, very freaky. That is right. That is true. Okay. And Looking this way. All right. Yeah, the tarantulas are, it's like it's already freaky looking, and then it hisses, and it's like this is game over. All right, and those are some cat beds, and going over here. Oh, oh yeah. Oh, thank you, Anna. Yeah, these are flowers that are going to grow from Mexico that blew in. They're very interesting. It's like 20 yards long. It's like like a football field. It's like 20-yard line. Okay, and I need to charge this thing. Okay. Let's see. What do I want to do here? I could go out, possibly, but I just have to put that there. And this time, this phone, you could charge it, unlike the other phone. Oh yeah, and I'm at some point, like getting chickens is something to do here, and the chicken coops, stuff like that. There's definitely a farm life that can be done here. So yeah, I'm glad that you. Definitely, farm life is cool. Okay, so you see right here, look how big it got within a couple of days. Abs, and you see it's ready to harvest. It got much bigger from the last time you saw it. All right. Country living. Okay, now. Okay, yeah, we got that. Miss country living so much, yeah. I think there's some more stars now. It could go out on us, and I'm going to try to get it charged in the charger before it does that, but if it doesn't, I'll, bring it back on. Anyway. Okay, so yeah, that is another star, by the way. Okay, getting it into this pocket right here. All right, I'm going to keep this live on. I have to go in to charge it because the battery's going down low. Okay. Yeah, you have a good one too, General. Yes, definitely. It is good. All right, in chat, I'm not ending the stream. I'm just going to be, it's going to be like on a mute for a moment to go in and plug this thing in, and that will contain conversation in there. Okay, so here we go. Okay, I am back. Okay. Let's see. All right, hello everybody. I have returned. Okay. I have it plugged in now, so it is charging at the moment. All right. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Definitely with the work, it can do that. With the different schedules. Yeah. So, like the lights in the room. Okay. Yes. Yes. This is what I look like. The face reveal, and I usually do live streams in the computer. Right here through the computer. Yes, you're curious. Yeah. And it's a little bit of a different view from the phone part, but yeah. And that was when it was my birthday, and that's a pirate skeleton right there. Yeah. So yeah, this is me. This is what I look like, and nice to see everybody. I was You see, this raincoat keeps it insulated, and this is the hoodie and scarf. It definitely uh, keeps me. Those are some of the swamps stories about the swamp experiences that I had, and see on a computer, and now I have access to more of these things. Yeah, the nutria is something that I have seen one time, but in the yard one time, but it's not something that I saw really. Oh, it's every day now. Something about skunks. There used to be skunks in my. There used to be skunks in my city, but not any, not anymore. Because there was 100 years ago or so, they used them for the fur trade, and eventually, over time, they were not. You know, they kind of died off. Oh yes, she's saying that Alien is single too. That's what she's saying. All right, and we're going to. So I'm going to see if I could find one of these pictures I was talking to you about with the nature center. Oh, thank you, Abby. Thank you. You are also very sweet too. All right, where is it? It's somewhere. Oh yeah, but this is the right region of the pictures that I have. Let's see. Okay, and Abby says also, and also shout out to Anna of Very Cool People. And Abby says also don't let the dogs around the skunks. Tomato sauce barely helps. Well, I thought tomato sauce was the cure to it, but it doesn't look like that is the case. There must be more of a catch to it than that. Right. I'm glad that glad to keep that in mind. Let's see, well, it would be more up that way. No, it's somewhere in there, but not right where I could see it. So Abby, does anything else work besides tomato sauce? Since tomato sauce doesn't really work, does something else work better, or just really just a lost cause? Well, this part right here. Okay, this is the black pearl. Yeah, this is the black pearl right here. From the movie, that's where it was in the swamp that I was in. Okay, and that it does help, but it does help, but needs to be done multiple times at least. Our dog, she was big golden retriever. Oh, I love golden retrievers, by the way. Those are very cool dogs. But we just kept her outside for a few days. Oh, well, I'm glad that that helped. That's important. I found the swamp picture. Okay, good. Here we go. Let's switch over. Okay, Abs, this is the swamp, the nature walk I was talking to you about. And there's Anna. Yeah, golden retrievers are sweet. Okay, and see, that's the part where you look over and that's the green. You know, that's the water right there. It looks very green. And yeah, it was just secluded for a long time and then it came back. Yeah, very pretty. Yeah, nice pastures of gold hues, and that's in the bog, yeah. It's all secluded too, and there's like no people there for like nearly 20 years. All like just kept there in that state. This was back in 2019. Oh yeah, yeah, that would be cool for you to do that one day. And you would definitely like it. It'll be a nice, enchanting adventure for you. And right. Okay, so this is another one of my there's a friend of mine that is subscribed to me. By the way, that's a Christmas tree in the background from a long time ago because a cat likes it. Yeah, Louisiana. Definitely that's a good idea for her to do. And see that right there the is a Mardi Gras mask. And that's a Mr. Bingle that has to do something with the city. And those are some blinking lights because the cats like it. Hey, so I was with my friend at the Nash. He's on the channel, like he subscribed to me. I knew him from school. This is him. Yes, grab some authentic gumbo. Right. Okay, this is one of my friends right there next to the Black Pearl ship piece, which was from the movie, which was pretty cool. All right, and see, Abby says, "I love to. It seems amazing. There's made it very interesting with the swamp facts." Oh, well, I appreciate it. I'm glad that you like the way the information I conveyed about it. Awesome. Yeah, I always thought it was a very enchanting place. And although I did always like snowy regions and the winter, although it does snow here, technically, at times, that's always very nice to, to see. And I still like the swamp, this type of region too. So, but I do. Well, what I meant to say was it snows here on a rare occasion, and I always liked the snowy like where you are. That's what I always thought was like an ideal place. But I also like where I am too. And he says, "I'll try gumbo and give y'all a poutine in return. That's our dish." Oh, nice, nice. That sounds very delish. I don't know any. Yeah, tell us, Abs, about that dish. I don't know anything about it. It sounds very good. And yeah, because I think they're all. By the way, it's St. Patrick's Day. By the way, I just as a fun fact reminder. Yeah, I think it's a very good to try things in different places. You know, Canada has interesting food too. Uh, Different regions have their different stuff. All right, Abby says fries, gravy, cheese, curds, but you can also get it with meat. Oh, Abby, that is absolutely delicious. That is completely delicious. I like gravy. That's something that's very popular where I am, by the way. Yeah, gravy's really popular. Yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day to all, definitely. Oh, you like pulled pork. Nice. And I certainly would like to try that. And it's from Quebec. French fries, cheese, curds, toppings, and hot brown gravy. I'll show you what it looks like right here because I see a picture of it now. Oh, Abby, that would be very nice to try that from you. Definitely would be good to have. Very nice gesture. Wearing your green now, actually, that's good. Yeah. So this is what she's talking about. Looks very delicious. I like that. It looks very delicious. Yum. Oh, and she's wearing her green right now. That is awesome. Okay, yeah. Very good. Yeah. That is I like the way it is. It reminds me of something that Elvis liked to eat himself. That is very cool. I think he liked chili and fries. I think that's what he liked. Come on. Come on. Okay, it's not. Oh, okay, it worked. It worked. All right, and Abby says it's very filling too, so you don't need much, which is nice, and it's such a good comfort food. Yeah, and it looks like it's easy to put together and nice and simple. Yeah, facts. See, Anna is vibing with it too, and it's very good comfort. Definitely comfort food, and it's like nice, easy, and you can put different things in it, and that's that. Yes, it definitely looks very delicious. Absolutely. And with the way that they could just put things together like that, and then it becomes a big staple, a classic. I It's almost like its own pie. It's almost like a pie in a way, and they could just eat everything as it is. It's like the French fries and everything just becomes a brand new dish. It's not French fries anymore. It's something totally different. Yeah, so that is a cool fact. And there's syrup is no Canada is known for syrup, and Aaron likes syrup, the fried from the tree. And when one of the streams, her and I were talking about that, and I did a stream one time about Canadian food, and it was pretty good. Like casserole, right? Let's see. Show her what the gumbo looks like. Let's see. That's the wrong word. Yes, I believe that definitely the best maple syrup. All right, and this is the Gumbo. That's a variation of the gumbo. Right there, and let's see, right there, let's say crab. See, that's some other variation with crabs in it. Yeah, very good. Yeah, it's very delicious. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's another one. That's some with the crabs in it. And with a crab, you have to. Yes, it's super flavorful. Yeah, definitely. And the thing with a crab is that you see the leg, you pull it off, and you suck out the meat from it. As you kind of like break it off and get it from there that way. Don't tell Vermont that. And now I'm making Anna hungry. I'm just being the making everybody's tummy rumble, right? You see, that's more of it right there. Very good. I'm going to show you also the signature crawfish that they do. That's what we call it here. For instance, this is a option right here. Yeah. Yeah, that is the crawfish. And that's the corn, and it's all spicy. It's all intense spices and seasonings in it. You can't deal with the okra texture. Understood. I personally think that is very good, actually, but it's not for everybody. And yeah, so that is the crawfish part. Right there. It looks like a little mini lobster. Oh, facts. Facts. That's good. And that's a sausage with that. All right, good night. All right, good night to Anna. I think I should be back on now. Okay. So I said, by the way, yeah, good night, Anna. Thank you for coming. Okay, good. I am back. Okay, so I had to switch off. The other thing that I was on was being Temu. And we're going to switch over to the other window right here. Let's see. The mouse. I have to turn it on and off. Okay, yeah, so those are some dishes that I think that you would like a lot. They are very good. And I'm going to show you something else when this mouse comes back on. Okay, good. All right, and yeah, just let me know if something isn't working correctly. Okay, this is another dish. It's more... It's less soupy, but it's still a very similar dish to the gumbo. You know, very nice rice and meat in it as well. Okay, it looks like that's working. That's good. All right. It is called jambalaya. It's probably it's a more of a Cajun variation of it. Oh yeah, you're big on rice. Yeah, so yeah, that is the jambalaya one. It's called jambalaya, and the other type is called gumbo. Yeah. There's a distinction between the Cajun and Creole people. So the Creole people were these from France and Spain, but then now it means people that are white with some black ancestry. That's what that one means now, but it was this, Cajun is something. There were people from French Canada that migrated because of they were kicked out by England, and they went over to this part of the world. So there's Cajun. That wasn't supposed to happen, but now that is there. Okay, there is Cajun versus the other groups. Because sometimes you get mixed up with the Creole people. All right. I'm going to get back to this in a moment. Well, I'm still here with you, but... Okay. Here I am. Yes. It is a very cool accent, indeed. Absolutely. Now, something else that they do is the fishing in the region that I have, and I don't know if I told you about this yet, but there was this incident that happened where my friend's family, they were fishing for crabs. There's a certain season, it's usually around November, where the crabs are out. They'll go in the fishing boats and catch them. They're in these nets, sort of like in the Bible they would catch things in nets. That's how they would do it. So they would catch these fish in nets and reel them in, and not reel them in, but just kind of bring them in, and they'll put them in a deep freezer, and that way they can always have continuous cooking of the a continuous supply of it. So this one night when they were putting the crabs inside the deep freezer, one of them, I was hanging out with him on the back porch. One of them was running around the back porch and trying to bite everybody, and trying to do this to everybody. And my friend ran out the back, and he ran to the street. So that was something that was quite interesting. That was funny, but unexpected too. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And the crab was like tripping out. It was all over the place. Yeah, that was a fun story that happened back then. Oh, by the way, we're gonna do this. I'm glad I got you here. Let's see. Oh, oh yeah, and it can be very aggressive. They'll say the pizza is aggressive. That one was also aggressive. Yeah. Yeah. So now it's time to show you this. Okay, this is the opium poppy that I was talking to you about before. I'll put more centered. All right, yeah, this is the opium poppy. These, I call them bulbs, but they're really the seed pods. I talk about gardening for those that are just like coming in, and I'm just giving like a lesson here about them. Okay, yeah, so you have that. Those are the other ones. Very nice flowers. Everybody's like, this alien is showing different. See, that's another one. Another one blooming. Because we were talking about that on the other stream. You're used to the classic red poppy, right? And this one is that's where the opium comes from. They'll cut those open and get the pods out. Yeah, this is the kind from, well, that's technically an opium poppy, but those are the ones you're more used to. Yeah, I'll show you the ones that you like, but yeah, those are other ones too. You see, that's when they're harvested. That's the opium right there when they harvest it. It's just like what I told you before, but it's more visualized. Okay. And the other part here is the World War I poppy. There we go. Hey, this is the one that you like from the World War I poppies. It's, the remembrance of the soldiers that died in action. The thing about those is that the battlefields were really messed up and it destroyed the land and it'll set it all on fire, but that's how the seeds are able to germinate because of the war that happened. So I think that's a really great thing to come out of something terrible. So like, that's a battlefield, but because of all the what they did in the battlefields, all the war that happened, that's what it caused. It caused all, because it turned the soil and messed it up a certain way. Yeah, to see a field full of them. I definitely would think that it is very peaceful too. And like a peaceful, tranquil environment that it would give off, and I like that. The idea of walking through them would be nice. There was something about lavender. That's a scent that I like. It's a good scent that I would use in one of the rooms in the back. But there's one incident where one of my yes, very peaceful as they sway around in the wind, peaceful and crisp, and cool to the touch. They, fields of velvet, red, blowing waves of velvet. Yeah, absolutely. So with the lavender, one of my subs, she was trying to grow tulips, and the problem with the tulips were there was some kind of critter, some kind of a bandit of some sort of bandit that was taking the tulip bulbs, and those are the roots you put underground. And I looked up, trying to help her with the garden crisis, and it was this: you have to put it in a plastic cage, that way the bandits don't take it. And it was probably a mole or something underground that was taking it. And tulips are another very nice peaceful plant, and lavender is a way to repel pests from a tulip garden, by the way. That was something that I figured out. So lavender is a complementary plant to that. Abby says, you seem like a big nature fan too. I love hiking and exploring new places, and with how smart you are, you would be the best tour guide. Well, thank you very much, and you would be the best companion for that adventure as well. Oh, I definitely love that type of stuff, and I love outdoors, and the hiking is very cool indeed, too. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Very kind. And I like the hiking trails. They are really nice where you know people will climb up, and at some point they want to give up, but you have to keep on going to get to the main part where you're supposed to go. Now, something that I'm interested in is like spooky stories and mysteries, which I think you know that. I may have mentioned that to you, but there's all kinds of stories of people that were like doing these hiking trails and they went off course or something happened. And they not trying to be scare anybody, but people would disappear. But that's why it's good to know the trail and to have protection and just in case something like that, something not good happens. So, but hiking is good to do and be in nature as long as you know what you're doing. The reason why I like those stories, another reason is that it's good to be safe and be aware of what could happen, or just don't talk to strangers, so to speak, in those situations. And I like looking into cases that are unsolved and solved cases, because sometimes there's people that are never caught and they do something not good. And so, but yeah, hiking is very cool. That's something that I definitely like to do as well. Yeah, so there is a story, there is a camping trip where the kids were hiking, and this is back in the 80s, maybe I'm going to go over a 30-year time span to either 80s or 2000s when this occurred. And the parents and the counselors were just goofy, and they didn't like keep a close eye on the kid, and he disappeared and went missing. And they eventually found clothes scattered around different regions, which they were thinking someone did something to him. And yeah, that's why kids should be highly supervised and not do certain things. But back then they didn't really figure that out until later. By the way, a lot of bad people are being caught with DNA, which I think is a good thing. Harry says, exactly, I'm obsessed with stories like that as I can learn from them. I've been face to face with a black bear and thankfully it ran off. Well, you are very brave, and you're very blessed that it ran off, because that could be very, very not good if something apocalyptic happens with it. They usually say if a bear sees you is to put make yourself look bigger than the bear, like kind of put your hands up and go, boo, and both hands. And that usually would scare it off. One time there was a hiker in the woods. One thing that you need to understand is that there was a hiker in the woods and he was on his bicycle and came across a black bear or a brown bear. I know it's supposed to be one or the other, but it was one of those type of bears. Those are only bears that are there that are around really. But anyway, he saw the bear and he raised his bike up in the air. He raised his bike up in the air, right, to scare the thing off, and it worked. He was able to get rid of it, but it's a spooky situation. All right, it really scares me when I hear stories of people who have done horrible crimes and never been caught, as I imagine I'm the next victim. Oh, absolutely, definitely. Even to me, it's makes me uncomfortable too. And there's a saying that I like where we can't always control what happens or what is around, but we can control reaction to things. And us knowing about know yourself and know your enemy, and us knowing that there's something there is already winning a winning streak, because there's somebody out there that doesn't know that what you know, and to be more careful and vigilant. So that, and having faith that it'll be okay, and self-defense of any kind is good. If it's like pepper spray or something, whatever you're able to carry is good. But uh, that is the positive thing about it, is that there's something could happen, and you would now be aware that there's a threat, so you be more vigilant, where somebody else may not be vigilant about it. So you're already on a good stance by being aware of these things. All right. And a lot of times we suffer more in imagination and we do in reality. You know, like our minds could, you know, something could be, but in reality, it's not what we thought it was. All right, and yes, if you act bigger and stronger, it'll scare the bear off. But I'm 5 foot, 120 pounds. Understood. You know, there's a bear spray that could be used, and I guess different sound horns would be good. Those two things would be effective. And yeah, I understand what you're saying about 5 feet tall. I'm not. If someone had nothing else, I guess you could get a branch, a big branch, or a stick, and raise it up really high. That would probably help. It would add some more height. Because I understand it's like a. I'm exaggerating, but like a 10 foot bear, and there's someone that's 5 feet tall. I could see where, you know, that. But yeah, a big branch, like raising it up like that, would probably do the trick. Well, Abby, you are all ready to go. You're ready to face the world and defend the spaceship too at the same time. So I'm glad that you have all that. You're all equipped. A lot of people aren't equipped. A lot of people don't know what's going on. So very good. I'm glad that you do that. Yeah, I think with the woods, it has lots of, you know, peacefulness to it. It's peaceful with the birds and different hiking stuff. It's nice and therapeutic in a way. All right, Abby says it's usually grizzly bears that would be something to worry about. Black bears aren't ever too aggressive. Oh, okay. So, yeah, the grizzly bears being aggressive, I think that is good to know. I remember studying about bears, and I'm glad my memory refreshed about that because I may have not have completely remembered that off the top of my head. That's why it's good to have a teamwork of people working together because, you know, one person may figure out something the other one didn't. So, yeah, I definitely agree about using protection about that. I'm glad to know about the black bears versus grizzlies, and very cool. Okay, so sadly, I think I got to get some sleep as it's almost 3:40 a.m. here, but so much fun chatting. Oh, yeah, peace, and we'll continue conversation another stream. And yeah, thank you, Abby. Have a good night. Okay, you'll be here tomorrow probably if I go live. Okay, well, we'll see you tomorrow on the tomorrow stream. And yeah, I should also be going myself because it's you know, getting late. So yeah, you take care, Abby. You know, very nice talking to you. Very good stream. Um, we'll continue this another time. All right, everybody. Thank you all for watching. By the way, where I am, it's 4:37. Thank you all for watching, everybody. We'll see you all on the next episode of the late Garden Walk Live, and peace. Yes, you have a great sleep too. Thank you. That was very sweet to say. All right.